Ladies and gentlemen, friends and dreamers, wake up, not just out of bed, but out of excuses. Wake up out of procrastination. Wake up out of fear, because 2026 is not waiting on you to feel ready. Time is moving, whether you move or not. See, a lot of people are asleep with their eyes open. They scroll all day, talk all night, and dream forever, but they never move. Most people are not failing because they lack ability, intelligence, or opportunity. They are failing because they are asleep to the truth of their own lives. They wake up every morning physically, but mentally and spiritually, they are still in the same place they were years ago. Waking up is not about opening your eyes. It's about opening your awareness. It's about finally seeing your life exactly as it is, not as you wish it were and not as you pretend it to be. The hardest thing for a human being to do is be honest with themselves. We are experts at explaining why something didn't work. We can give detailed stories about why we didn't start, why we stopped, why the timing wasn't right, why someone didn't support us. But excuses don't change reality. Reality doesn't respond to explanations. It responds to action. And until you wake up to that truth, nothing in your life will truly change. Waking up means accepting responsibility without bitterness. It means looking at your current situation and saying, this is where I am, and I played a role in getting here. That's not shame, that's power. Because the moment you take ownership, you take control. When you stop blaming, you stop giving your power away. You can't fix what you refuse to face, and you can't move forward while lying to yourself. A lot of people confuse being busy with being productive. They stay occupied all day, yet nothing meaningful gets done. They scroll, they talk, they plan, they dream, but they don't execute. Waking up in 2026 means recognizing that activity without direction is just distraction. You have to ask yourself hard questions. What am I actually working toward? What habits are moving me closer? What behaviors are silently holding me back? The truth is uncomfortable. It hurts to admit that you wasted time. It stings to realize that fear, not lack of talent, kept you stuck. But discomfort is not your enemy. Comfort is. Comfort tells you everything is fine when it's not. Comfort convinces you to wait, delay, and settle. Waking up means choosing growth over comfort, even when growth feels painful. Many people are waiting for motivation to strike before they change, but awareness comes before motivation. Once you clearly see the cost of staying the same, you don't need anyone to hype you up. You move because you understand what's at stake. You wake up when you realize that time is not renewable. Every day you delay is a day you never get back. Waking up also means accepting that nobody owes you anything. No one is required to believe in your dream, support your vision, or carry you to success. That responsibility belongs to you. And while that may sound harsh, it's actually freeing, because it means your future is not dependent on approval. It's dependent on effort. 2026 is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be honest. Honest about your priorities. Honest about your discipline. Honest about whether your daily actions match your big goals. When you wake up to reality, excuses lose their power. Complaints fade. Clarity takes over. The moment you wake up, you stop living on autopilot. You stop drifting. You start making intentional decisions. And that awareness becomes the foundation for everything else: discipline, faith, consistency, and success. Nothing changes until you wake up. And once you do, everything becomes possible. Most people are waiting to feel motivated before they take action, and that's exactly why they stay stuck. Motivation is emotional. It's temporary. It shows up when things feel good and disappears the moment things get hard. Discipline, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. Discipline shows up when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you don't see results yet. And if you're serious about getting it done in 2026, discipline has to become your lifestyle. The truth is, nobody successful feels motivated every day. They feel resistance just like everyone else. The difference is, they don't negotiate with that resistance. They don't wait for the perfect mood or the right energy. They do what needs to be done because they committed to it. Discipline is not about punishment. It's about self-respect. It's deciding that your future matters more than your comfort in the moment. Motivation feels powerful, but it's unreliable. One bad day, one disappointment, one delay, and motivation disappears. Discipline stays because it's rooted in decision, not emotion. When you decide who you want to become, discipline is how you honor that decision daily. It's the small, repeated actions that look boring but produce extraordinary results over time. In 2026, discipline means creating structure in your life. It means setting routines that support your goals instead of sabotaging them. Waking up at a consistent time, working on your vision before distractions take over, managing your time like it's valuable because it is. Discipline is not about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things consistently. A lot of people say they lack discipline, but what they really lack is clarity. When you don't know what you want, it's hard to stay disciplined. But when your purpose is clear, discipline becomes easier. You stop asking, do I feel like it? And start asking, does this move me forward? That shift changes everything. Discipline also requires saying no. No to distractions. No to habits that drain you. No to people who don't respect your goals. Every yes costs you time and energy, and discipline helps you protect both. You can't build a new life while holding on to old behaviors that no longer serve you. There will be days in 2026 when you do everything right and still see no progress. That's where discipline matters most. Progress is often invisible before it becomes undeniable. Quitting during that phase is the reason most people never succeed. Discipline teaches you to trust the process even when the results are delayed. You don't need extreme willpower. You need consistency. Discipline is built one choice at a time. Each time you show up when you don't feel like it, you strengthen that muscle. Over time, what once felt hard becomes automatic. That's how habits are formed, and habits shape your destiny. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from regret. It frees you from starting over. It frees you from depending on moods and circumstances. In 2026, stop waiting to feel ready. Decide, commit, and execute. Motivation may inspire you to start, but discipline is what will carry you to the finish line. Most people don't realize how expensive excuses are. They feel harmless in the moment, even comforting, but over time they cost you growth, confidence, and opportunity. Excuses give you temporary relief while quietly stealing your future. In 2026, if you truly want change, excuses have to go and ownership has to take their place. An excuse is anything you use to avoid responsibility. It can sound logical, even reasonable. I don't have time. I didn't have support. I wasn't born into the right situation. These statements may contain some truth, but truth without action still keeps you stuck. Plenty of people started with less, faced more obstacles, and still found a way forward because they refused to let their circumstances become their identity. Taking ownership doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means recognizing that no matter what happened to you, your response is your responsibility. You may not control what life throws at you, but you control how you show up, how you adapt, and how you move forward. The moment you stop pointing fingers, you stop giving your power away. Many people don't realize that excuses are often disguised as fear. Fear of failing, fear of being judged, fear of finding out how much effort success really requires. So instead of risking discomfort, they explain why now isn't the right time. Ownership means being willing to look fear in the eye and move anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear, it's action in spite of it. In 2026, ownership means being brutal. Be honest with yourself, honest about your habits, honest about how you spend your time, honest about whether your actions align with your goals. You can't keep saying you want more while doing the same things that keep you where you are. Growth demands change, and change begins with accountability. Excuses also keep you mentally stuck in the past. They focus on what went wrong instead of what can be done next. Ownership shifts your focus to solutions. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? You start asking, what can I do about it now? That question alone changes your mindset from victim to leader. Taking ownership can feel heavy at first because it removes your safety net. You can no longer hide behind circumstances or other people, but that weight eventually turns into strength. When you own your choices, you gain confidence. You stop waiting for permission. You stop needing validation. You become proactive instead of reactive. Another hard truth is that nobody is studying your excuses as closely as you think. People don't remember why you didn't do something. They remember results. The world rewards execution, not explanation. In 2026, the people who win won't be the ones with the best stories. They'll be the ones with the best follow through. Ownership also means forgiving yourself. Beating yourself up for past mistakes doesn't move you forward. Learn from them, release them, and recommit. Ownership is not about perfection, it's about progress. Each day is another opportunity to choose differently. When you kill excuses and take ownership, your energy changes, your language changes, your confidence grows. You stop asking for easier circumstances and say, art becoming stronger. That shift is powerful. In 2026, don't explain your way out of greatness. Execute your way into it. Faith without action is like a car without fuel. It looks good on the outside. It may even inspire others, but it doesn't take you anywhere. Too many people think believing is enough. They pray, they hope, they speak positive words, but when it comes to doing the work, they freeze. In 2026, if you want to see real change, faith must be visible in your actions. Belief alone will not move your life forward. God, destiny, opportunity, they all require your hands to move, your feet to step, your mind to plan, and your courage to push past fear. Faith is not passive. It's not sitting around waiting for miracles to drop from the sky. Faith is movement. It's starting before you see the full picture, acting when the path is unclear, and stepping even when the outcome is uncertain. Every great story of success began with faith in action. Someone had to trust in themselves, in God, or in their purpose long enough to do the work nobody else saw or understood. That's what separates dreamers from achievers. Many people confuse faith with comfort. They think if they believe hard enough, life will magically become easy. That's not faith. That's wishful thinking. True faith will be tested. It will ask you to take risks, to step into the unknown, to endure challenges that feel bigger than you. Faith without action is wasted energy. It's a prayer without persistence, a vision without execution. In 2026, your faith has to meet your work. It has to match your effort. When faith and action align, doors begin to open, opportunities multiply, and your path forward becomes clear. Faith also requires patience. You can't demand instant results. Life doesn't operate on your timetable. Sometimes you'll do everything right, and still the breakthrough won't happen immediately. That's where many people quit. But faith means trusting the process, even when results are delayed. It's about understanding that growth, success, and transformation happen in seasons, not in a single day. Your job is to keep working, keep showing up, and keep believing, even when nobody else sees it yet. Another critical part of faith is courage. Acting on faith is scary because it often requires leaving your comfort zone. It requires moving against fear, doubt, and uncertainty. It may require taking steps that seem risky or unpopular, but faith is strongest when it is tested. In 2026, you must choose to act on your belief even when fear is knocking at your door. Every small step you take in faith builds momentum and confidence. The next step becomes easier, and gradually, what seemed impossible becomes possible. Faith without action also limits your potential. You may pray for financial breakthrough, better health, stronger relationships, or career growth, but if your hands remain idle, nothing changes. God works through your effort. Destiny rewards persistence. Opportunities favor those who prepare and act. In 2026, don't just ask for blessings, earn them, show up, do the work, take the steps. That's how faith becomes visible, tangible, and transformative. Faith in action inspires others. People are drawn to those who don't just talk about belief, they live it. When your faith is active, it's contagious. Others see your courage, your consistency, and your results, and they are motivated to rise as well. 2026 is calling for visible faith. Stop waiting for the perfect sign. Stop waiting for someone else to lead and start moving. Your faith, paired with persistent action, will create a life that others admire and, more importantly, a life you can be proud of. Growth never happens in comfort. That's a truth that most people don't want to hear. We are wired to seek ease, to avoid pain, and to stay where things feel safe. But safety and comfort are illusions when it comes to achieving the life you dream of. In 2026, if you want to get it done, you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. The very things that scare you, challenge you, or push you to your limits are the things that will make you stronger, smarter, and more resilient. Comfort feels good in the moment, but it slowly kills potential. When you stay in the same job, the same mindset, or the same routine because it's easy, you are choosing stagnation over progress. You are choosing temporary peace over permanent results. True growth requires struggle, effort, and a willingness to endure situations that feel hard, unfair, or exhausting. The discomfort you feel today is not punishment. It is preparation. Every challenge, every obstacle, every uncomfortable moment is shaping you into someone capable of handling bigger opportunities tomorrow. Most people avoid discomfort because they fear failure, rejection, or criticism. But here's the secret. The fear is part of the process. Fear means you're on the edge of something meaningful. Growth and fear always show up together. If you want to level up in 2026, you can't run from fear. You have to walk through it. Every time you face discomfort and push past it, you grow. Every time you choose courage over comfort, you strengthen your character and expand your capacity for success. Discomfort also teaches patience and resilience. Life rarely hands success on a silver platter. The road to achievement is paved with challenges, setbacks, and moments when quitting feels easier than continuing. But the people who win in the end are the ones who embrace the struggle rather than avoid it. They understand that progress is often slow and painful, but every step, no matter how small, is moving them closer to their goals. In 2026, your ability to endure discomfort will determine your ability to reach heights others can only dream of. Being comfortable with discomfort also requires a shift in mindset. Most people see struggle as a signal to stop, but successful people see struggle as a signal to grow. They recognize that the very resistance that makes them uncomfortable is the resistance that will strengthen them. Discomfort becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. Every time you are tested, you learn something new about your capabilities, your limits, and your potential. If you avoid discomfort, you avoid growth. If you embrace it, you unlock it. Discomfort also forces action. Comfort encourages procrastination. It whispers, wait until it's easier, or maybe tomorrow will be better. But waiting rarely produces results. Action produces results. In 2026, don't wait for life to feel easy or for circumstances to align perfectly. Take action even when it's hard, even when you're afraid, even when it feels inconvenient. Action in the face of discomfort is what separates dreamers from achievers. Finally, embracing DI. Discomfort builds confidence. Every time you do something that scares you, stretches you, or challenges you, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That confidence grows, and with it comes momentum. The more you face what feels uncomfortable, the more you trust yourself to handle the next challenge. 2026 is calling for boldness, courage, and persistence. If you want to see real change, you have to be willing to walk through the fire, to endure the grind, and to embrace every moment that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Growth lives in discomfort. Comfort keeps you small. To get it done in 2026, you must stop avoiding what scares you, start pushing through what challenges you, and get comfortable being uncomfortable every single day. That's how progress, success, and transformation happen. Starting something is easy. Most people can dream, plan, and even begin with excitement. But finishing, that is where most people fail. In 2026, if you want to truly get it done, you must commit to finishing what you start. Every unfinished project, every abandoned goal, every idea left on the shelf is a missed opportunity. Dreams don't work unless they are completed. And success is never about how well you start. It's about how persistently you finish. Finishing requires endurance. It demands that you continue even when things get hard, when motivation fades, and when the results are invisible. Every successful person you admire didn't just begin, they endured. They faced resistance, setbacks, and moments when quitting seemed like the easiest option, but they refused to quit. They understood that the moment most people give up is the moment before breakthrough. In 2026, your PERS instance will determine whether you win or remain stuck. Many people underestimate the power of consistency. Show up for a few days, weeks, or months, then stop when progress feels slow. But finishing is built on daily, deliberate effort. It's the small, repeated actions that eventually compound into extraordinary results. One day of consistency may feel insignificant, but over weeks, months, and years, those consistent efforts define your success. To get it done in 2026, you must commit to showing up every day, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. Finishing also requires focus. Distractions are everywhere, tempting you to give up on what matters and chase what feels easier. Social media, new opportunities, even other people's opinions can pull you off course. In 2026, focus will be your superpower. Protect your energy, protect your time, and protect your commitment to completing what you started. The world will reward those who finish, not those who start 50 things and complete none. Another challenge in finishing is patience. Results rarely appear immediately. Often, you are working hard for weeks, months, or even years without seeing visible progress. That's why so many people quit. They confuse slow progress with failure. But patience is part of finishing. It's trusting the process, continuing to do the work, and believing that what you invest today will pay off tomorrow. Your breakthrough may be closer than you think, but only if you refuse to stop. Finishing also builds character. Every time you push through resistance, overcome doubt, and see something to the end, you strengthen your confidence and resilience. You prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you thought. That confidence becomes a foundation for taking on bigger challenges. In 2026, finishing one project will prepare you to tackle the next and the next, building momentum that propels you forward. The reality is that unfinished business holds you back. Ideas, projects, and goals left incomplete drain your energy, your focus, and your faith in yourself. Completing what you start frees up mental space, energy, and confidence. It gives you proof that you are capable. It gives you momentum. It gives you results. Every finish is a victory, and every victory compounds over time. In 2026, don't just start, finish. Don't just plan, execute. Don't just dream, deliver. Commit to seeing things through, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, and even when no one is watching. Success belongs to those who finish. Everything else is just preparation. Your consistency, focus, patience, and persistence will determine how much you accomplish. To wake up and get it done in 2026, make a decision. Start with the intent to finish. Let every action you take, every step you make, and every project you pursue be guided by completion. Because the difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck isn't talent luck, or opportunity. It's finishing what they start.